Hi there, my name's Renee and I'm the owner at Raw Pet Co. One of the most common questions I get asked is how much raw food should I be feeding my dog? And it can be hard figuring out at first how much to feed. It can be confusing. But what we've done is we've actually developed a calculator on how much raw food to feed your dog. And I'm going to walk you through today how to use that calculator. So in the menu here just at the side, if you click here and come to feeding calculator for dogs, just need to get some information in there first. So just pop in your first name and your surname and also your email as well. And you can click here if you'd like to receive some updates and tips from us. Next, you need to put in your dog's information. So my dog's name is Sandy. She is 33 kilos. And I know that her date of birth is the 14th of January and she was born in 2015. If you don't know the exact birth date of your dog, that's okay. Just sort of take a guess. Or if you know the year, you can just put in the 1st of the 1st, 2015. It doesn't matter, as long as we know a rough estimate of their age. And then you click on Start My Dog's Plan. Now here you'll see Sandy's there, and I can add another dog if I wish, but for the moment I'm just going to have a look at Sandy. Great. So the calculator is telling me that Sandy is 11 years and 2 months. We know that for her to maintain weight, because it's already automatically clicked, that she needs to have 2.5% of her body weight. And what does that look like? Well, if you come down here where it's got totals per day, that's 825 grams of raw food for the entire day. So don't forget, if you are feeding twice a day, that you would need to split up that 825 grams to what you're feeding in the morning and the night. Now, if Sandy was overweight and she needed to lose some weight, and I click on lose weight here, it's telling me that I need to feed her 2% of her body weight, which has taken it down to 660 grams of food for the day. And same with the gain weight. If I click on that, I need 3% of her body weight, which is actually taken up to 990 grams for the day. We can actually toggle to weekly here to see how much she needs to eat for the entire week. And what that does, it allows you to, if you're making batches, how much you need to have in your batch for the entire week. So for this example, I know that I'm happy with Sandy's weight, so I'm going to click on maintain weight. And I'm going to look at the daily amounts that she needs. So 825 grams. Now, what is that made up of? Well, firstly, she needs 453 grams approximately, or 55% of her meals, to be meat. She needs 10%, or roughly 82 grams in bones. She needs 25% in plant matter, which is roughly 206 grams. She needs 5% in liver, which is roughly 41 grams. And she needs 5% in other secreting organ, which is also about 41 grams. Now, if I click here on meat, and this is muscle meat that we're talking about, if we click on view, it's going to take us to all the meats available on the Raw Petco website that I could be feeding Sandy. So lots there to choose from. I can click back. And then if I want to have a look at what bones I can be feeding Sandy, I can click view on bones. Now, if you scroll down here, you'll see a list of all the different bones available on the website, and there is a long list there. Now, the great thing with the calculator, because I know that bones have different bone percentage. So, for example, with the beef brisket, it's telling me that a beef brisket actually has about 45% bone content. And what does that mean? It means that some part of the brisket is meat and some part of the brisket is bone. So if 45% is bone, then I know that 55% is meat. So for my example here, when I'm feeding Sandy, I know that she needs 83 grams of bones in her meal for the day. If I want to get 83 grams of bones, which is here, I actually need to use 183 grams of beef brisket. So that's giving me my 83 grams of bones, and it's also giving me the 101 grams of muscle meat that I add back up here into my meat calculation. So if I'm going to use that brisket, I can take my 101 grams of muscle meat and take it off that amount that I need towards my meat content. And you can go through and have a look, and every single bone has a different bone percentage, and it's all listed there. So, for example, chicken frames, it has a very high bone percentage of 80%. And to get the 83 grams I need for Sandy, I'm actually only having to use 103 grams of chicken frames there. So you can go through and have a look based on what you need and what your dog likes. Now, the next thing I need in Sandy's meal is plant matter. So if I click on view, we've got a full list here of all the safe plant matter that I can use in Sandy's meal. Keeping in mind that some of this plant matter should actually be cooked or chopped depending on what we're using. And if we go back, The last items that we need to include is our liver and our other secreting organ. Now, if we click view on liver, it will show what we have available on the Raw Petco website. We don't necessarily have to use fresh liver either. The Canine Ceuticals range is fantastic. You can use a powdered form of lamb liver or beef liver as well in your meal preparation. And if we click back, the last item is that other secreting organ, which you can view and have a look through. Now, it's really important to know that this calculator is a guide. It's not a rigid rule. You really need to have a look at your dog and assess what you think is the amount of food that is right for them. Now, we suggest using our calculations for a week and then either decreasing or increasing depending on how your pet is going. If you have any more questions, you feel free to reach out to us. You can either email us or you can give us a phone call if you have any questions at all or need some personalised advice for your dog.